안녕하세요. 4프로TV 구독자 여러분. 여러분 너무 관심 있어 하시는 뉴욕 시장의 생생한 목소리를 들려드리려고 3프로 스튜디오를 떠나서 지금 막 뉴욕에 도착했습니다. 미국 시장에 대한 관심이 워낙 뜨겁고요. 또 미국의 혁신 성장 테마형 ETF를 통해서 이 글로벌 ETF 시장의 격전지인 이 뉴욕에서 정말 빠르게 성장하고 있는 회사가 있죠. 글로벌 X의 페드로 리서치 센터장을 제가 직접 만나서 우리는 어떤 투자를 해야 되는지에 대한 아이디어를 직접 들어보도록 하겠습니다. 그러면 글로벌 X로 제가 지금 들어가 보겠습니다. 가시죠.
Thanks.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much for coming tonight.
자, 4프로TV 시청자 여러분, 제가 글로벌 X에 이렇게 들어왔습니다. 오늘 제가 만날 분은요, 글로벌 X에서 리서치 헤드를 담당하고 있는 페드로 센터장님을 오늘 여러분들과 함께 하겠습니다. Hi, Pedro.
Hi, Kim Pro. Thanks for having me today.
페드로 김프로. 페드로 센터장님께 제가 첫 번째 질문을 좀 드릴 텐데요. 미국 증시가 작년에 이어서 올해도 굉장히 큰 관심을 갖고 있고 꾸준히 상승을 하고 있습니다. 한국을 포함해서 글로벌 투자자들이 미국으로 쏠리고 있는 현상이 계속되고 있는데 먼저 그 이유를 여쭤보죠.
We think that right now we have this rivalry between the innovation economy and the Fed economy. And we clearly believe the innovation economy is winning. We're seeing corporate profits throughout the United States market really increasing. Actually, if we look at the Q1 earnings per share that we have seen so far from the companies that have reported earnings, especially in the IT sector, we've seen profitability increasing significantly. Actually, within the IT sector, EPS has grown by over 20% just within Q1. So we're seeing a lot of that innovation flowing through the economy, which I think gets investors excited about the United States prospects, regardless of the high interest rate environment.
퍼포먼스가 굉장히 좋은 거는 뭐 다 알고 있는 상황인 것 같고요. 어쨌든 그러나 올해 들어서도 작년처럼 큰 변동성 구간에 들어왔다는 그 평가도 있는 것 같습니다. 현재 페드로 센터장님께서 생각하시는 가장 중요한 투자자 관점에서의 투자의 포인트는 어떤 거가 있을까요?
I think innovation, we talked about innovation and artificial intelligence being one of the most important technologies of our lifetime, I would say, after previous paradigm shifting technologies like personal computers, internet, smartphone, artificial intelligence is really becoming one of the main drivers of productivity and also efficiency within the corporate world here in the United States. So we're seeing a lot of growth opportunities there. At the same time, we're seeing a lot of geopolitical tensions around the world. That's really creating multiple investment trends around the world. As we see, for example, companies bringing back manufacturing capacity to the United States. That means that we're seeing a lot of investments in robotics and artificial intelligence, automation.
Right.
At the same time, defense technology is becoming increasingly important. Just bear in mind, around the world, every year, over $2 trillion are spent in defense spending. And I think that's another investment trend that we're seeing as a result of that geopolitical tension that we're seeing around the world.
사실 미국 시장에 대한 뷰가 굉장히 많이 엇갈립니다. 지금 너무 많이 올랐다라는 분도 있고, 아니야, 그래도 대안은 미국 시장이지, 이게 계속 올라갈 거야, 이렇게 생각하시는 분도 있어서 이게 미국 시장에 대한 전망이 사실 굉장히 엇갈리는데, 미국 주식시장, 특별히 M7으로 불리는 이들 선도주의 주가 전망에 대해서는 어떻게 생각하시는지 한번 여쭤보죠.
We think these are companies that are clearly leading in many different technologies. However, we're seeing market breadth is starting to improve. These are companies that have been driving most of the market performance over the last 12, 18 months. But as an investor, we believe that there is another group of companies that could really benefit as these companies have already captured, in our view, most of the opportunity ahead. We've seen companies like NVIDIA, already a $2 trillion company. We believe that the market has already recognized the long-term opportunity with companies like that. But there are other group of companies, especially if we think about semiconductors, we can think about Broadcom, for example, one of the leading networking semiconductor providers around the world, networking being critical when it comes to artificial intelligence workloads. Qualcomm as well for computing power for smart devices. So NVIDIA is quite focused on GPUs for data centers, for example, while at the same time you have companies like Qualcomm that are trying to position their semiconductors for smart devices, smartphones, and a few other Internet of Things devices. So I think the market has been fixated with these magnificent 7 companies, but as investors we believe that we're going to see that breadth improving over the next few years.
사실 개인 투자자 입장에서는 미국의 기준금리와 미국 주시장 그리고 한국 주시장 하물며 ETF에 관련해서도 굉장히 밀접한 관련이 있다고 하는데 이 금리에 대한 전망은 어떻게 하고 계시고 투자 전략은 어떻게 짜야 될지에 대한 궁금증도 있습니다.
I think we would expect the Fed probably not to cut rates this year. If we get to see a rate cut, it's probably going to be in Q4. We're looking at December as the most likely month to see a rate cut, but most likely we're going to see a 2025 as that period of interest rate cuts. So I think the most important factor there is really coming from the recent comments from Powell, the chair of the Fed, who recently mentioned that we're not going to see, or it's very unlikely to see rate hikes. So I think that's very important and why the market reacted so positively to those comments, because within the next 12 to 18 months, the most likely scenario is that we're going to start seeing the Fed cutting rates, stimulating the economy, and the economy continues to be quite robust here in the United States, something that gives us confidence that the equity market could continue to trend higher. We're seeing valuations, especially when we look at the S&P 500, is still not in very elevated territory. We're looking at a PE ratio for the S&P 500 today of 20 times earnings, but we continue to see that profitability improving. So we believe that growth in the bottom line of many companies could continue to take the equity markets to higher levels.
상당히 많은 애널리스트들이 2024년에 미국 경기가 굉장히 침체될 것이다. 리세션을 예상하기도 했습니다. 그런데 지금 미국 경기는 제가 와서 보니까 굉장히 좋은 것 같아요. 그래서 아마 페드에서도 금리를 낮추는 걸 굉장히 주저하는 것 같습니다. 미국 경제 전망에 대해서는 어떻게 생각하고 계신지요?
We would expect a very robust economy in 2024, especially as we enter in 2025 as well. Unemployment rates remain very, very low, and we would expect that to continue. We continue to see a lot of job openings around the country, which gives us confidence in that low unemployment rates here in the United States. We continue to see wages also increasing. That's going to continue to drive consumer spending. But at the same time, the higher rate environment is likely going to allow inflation to remain in that 3% territory. It's important to understand the last mile with inflation to get to the 2% range is going to take some time. We're definitely trending in the right direction. We're seeing that stickiness in inflation is coming from housing, rents. In some cases, we're seeing also energy. But those are areas that tend to take time to really see that decline in prices or inflation rates. And that's really going to, in our view, happen within the next 12 to 18 months. So when it comes to a recession, we don't see that happening in the United States. We are confident in saying that the Fed is going to achieve a soft landing. We've been talking about the no landing now for the last 6 to 12 months, but we're going to get to that soft landing where the economy remains robust, and then the Fed is going to be able to lower rates to make sure that we don't get too restrictive and force the economy into a recession.
지금 전 세계적으로 달러 강세가 계속되고 있고 특별히 한국에 계신 우리 투자자 여러분들 굉장히 고심하고 계신 게 환율 아닙니까? 원달러 환율, 특별히 엔화에 대해서도 달러가 계속해서 강세를 시현하고 있는데 어려운 질문이 되겠습니다만은 글로벌 엑스 리서치에 생각하시는 달러의 방향성, 달러의 강세는 어디까지, 언제까지 계속될지요?
Well, we know that there is a clear correlation between interest rates and the dollar, right? So as interest rates have been increasing over the last couple of years, we've seen the dollar strengthening as well relative to other currencies around the world. as we talked about before, we would expect the next move of the Fed to actually be to lower rates. And in our view, that the dollar would then not be as strong, especially relative to other currencies around the world. So that would definitely favor, especially emerging markets that could benefit from those dynamics.
혁신 성장, 그러니까 AI 같은 이런 굉장히 큰 테마에 주목하고 있다는 말씀을 주셨는데요. 글로벌 X에서도 이 혁신 성장 테마에 주목해서 굉장히 큰 좋은 성공을 거둔 사례가 있으신지요?
Well, at Global X, we're leaders in thematic investing, but we're also pioneers in thematic investing. Our first thematic ETF was launched in 2010, almost 15 years ago, and that was the lithium and battery technologies ETF. That was well before electric vehicles were actually becoming a adopted technology. Also in 2011, we launched the social media ETF, even before companies like Facebook, now known as Meta Platform, IPO'd. So at Global X, we've always been at the forefront of innovation, really bringing to market those investment solutions that are unique in multiple emerging technologies that are really reshaping our economies and societies.
근데 한국에서도요, 이 테마주라는 이 단어가 굉장히 많이 쓰이고 있어요. 근데 테마주라는 건 사실 싹 인기를 끌었다가 어느 순간 싹 사라지는 그런 사실 좀 부정적인 의미로 쓰이는데, 글로벌 X가 추구하고 있는 혁신 성장 테마형 ETF라고 할 때에 그 테마와는 어떤 차이가 있는지 좀 설명 좀 부탁드릴게요.
We actually believe that thematic investing in thematic ETFs are long-term investment strategies. They're actually trying to capture structural trends that are going to play out from the next 5, 10, 15 years, in some cases, evergreen investment technologies. So we actually, at Global X, consider that thematic investing should be part of the strategic asset allocation within a portfolio, because at the end of the day, these thematic strategies are very well positioned to capture those long-term opportunities. So think about cybersecurity, for example. I think we all can agree that cybersecurity spending is going to continue to increase over the next few years. It's going to become increasingly important as technologies like AI, connected devices continue to grow. So I think that's really what's going to open up opportunities in the cybersecurity theme. So to answer your question, thematic investing in our view is really about long-term and not only tactical opportunities.
완전히 다른 개념이군요. 테마형 ETF 할 때 그 테마의 의미와 우리가 흔히 정치 테마주, 무슨 테마주 할 때 그 테마는 여러분 전혀 다른 의미라는 거 페드로 센터장의 설명으로 아마 충분히 이해가 되셨을 것 같은데, 어쨌든 굉장히 많은 ETF를 만들고 계신단 말이에요. 그래서 새로운 ETF를 어떻게 기획하고 어떤 프로세스를 통해서 새로운 ETF를 시장에 내시고 계시는지도 그 절차도 좀 궁금합니다.
At Global X, we tend to look at three main characteristics. So number one, when it comes to developing these thematic strategies, we want to have a very high conviction in the trend, right? So we look at what's the total addressable market, what's the expected revenue growth rate for the companies within the theme, is there a path to profitability? Are companies ever going to be profitable with this technology? So again, we want to have this high conviction before bringing a thematic ETF to market. So that's step number one. Number two, we're looking at least at 20 to 25 publicly traded companies to really bring a universe and diversification opportunity within a theme. So oftentimes there are themes that we're trying to identify that only have 4, 5, 6 companies, publicly traded companies that provide exposure to the theme. So at Global X, we're going to wait until we can bring that diversification opportunity to the clients. And last but not least, we believe that a very well-constructed thematic ETF should offer those structural benefits. So when it comes to time frame, we're looking at trends that are going to play out over the next 5, 10, 15 years. I think that's really, really important. We talked about that just in the previous question. So high conviction, number one, investability or sufficient enough publicly traded market for the number of companies is number two. And number three, that long-term investment horizon.
여러 가지 뭐 테마형 ETF도 있고 테마를 위주로 한 상품들이 많이 쏟아지고 있는데, 그럼에도 불구하고 올해는 AI 그리고 AI를 서포트하는 의미에서의 이 반도체 같은 것들이 한국뿐만 아니라 전 세계적으로 투자에 대한 화두를 제공하고 있는데요. 이 두 가지 섹터, 인공지능, AI, 반도체, 이 두 가지 섹터에 대한 리서치 헤드로서의 전망과 앞으로 우리는 어떤 투자를 해야 되는지에 대한 의견도 좀 듣고 싶습니다.
Yes, right now, artificial intelligence is one of those most important investment strategies in the market. And I talked about how, in the historical context, we've had other technologies like personal computers, internet, smartphones becoming paradigm shifting technologies. Why that's so important is because it gives us a guide to how navigate the artificial intelligence paradigm shifting technologies. Today, we're seeing the market participants really looking at companies like NVIDIA, for example, one of the most important semiconductor companies today. But beyond NVIDIA, beyond semiconductors, we believe there is another layer of companies that stand to benefit from the materialization of artificial intelligence. Namely, we're looking at infrastructure companies like data centers. Data centers are really this infrastructure that it's going to be needed to support artificial intelligence workloads. At the same time, as we as consumers and businesses experience artificial intelligence, software as a service companies and cloud computing companies are really stand to benefit as we see businesses and consumers trying out these artificial intelligence applications to make us more effective, more efficient, more productive. So we believe infrastructure in data center and cloud computing companies are very well positioned when it comes to that artificial intelligence wave.
아시는 것처럼 올해 11월 초면 이제 미국의 대통령 선거가 있고 또 대통령 선거철이 되면은 미국의 인프라스트럭처라든지 또 그로 인한 원자재 섹터 이런 쪽에도 이제 관심이 많이 갈 것 같아요. 페드로 센터장님은 이런 섹터 그러니까 인프라 투자라든지 원자재 섹터에 대한 생각은 어떻게 하고 계시는지요?
Infrastructure development, especially here in the United States, is something that both parties have always agreed on. We've seen Republicans and Democrats always agreeing that investing in infrastructure is really, really important for the growth of the economy. In fact, if we recall from November 2021, we saw the passage of the Investment Infrastructure and Jobs Act, the IIJA bill that invested $1.2 trillion towards infrastructure development in the United States. And something that it's really important about that is that only about $500 billion have been distributed at the state levels and from there to the projects. So we still have about 2/3 of that $1.2 trillion bill to be distributed at the state level and really benefit the companies that are building U.S. infrastructure here in the United States. Just for context, the American Society of Civil Engineers grades the U.S. infrastructure with a C-. So we know that that's not a very good grade, and that's really talking about the investment opportunity for infrastructure development in the United States. So we're looking at companies in engineering, in construction, key raw materials like steel, industrial transportation. These are the group of companies that we believe are going to benefit as we see an increase in infrastructure spending in the United States. So we're not investing in traditional infrastructure assets like seaports, toll roads, airports, because those type of companies or infrastructure assets are going to see little benefit from the increase in spending and development activities. So we're really focused on the development side of infrastructure.
미국은 전체 ETF 시장의 70%를 차지하고 있는 주요 시장이죠. 그래서 어쩌면 미국이 또 이 뉴욕의 금융회사들이 ETF 시장의 트렌드를 선도한다고 할 수 있고 또 그 중에 하나가 글로벌 X일 텐데 이런 굉장히 치열한 ETF 시장에서 활동하는 플레이어로서 향후에 ETF 시장이 어떻게 발전해 나갈 거라고 생각하죠? 이미 뭐 굉장히 많은 발전을 이루고 있습니다만은 ETF 스페셜리스트로서 어떤 전망을 하고 계시는지요?
That's a great question. I think the ETF industry is just getting started. If we look at the mutual fund industry, for example, we're talking about an industry that today in the United States only is about $27 trillion. The United States, when we're looking at ETFs, we're only looking at about $8 trillion market. So we're just getting started when it comes to that transition from mutual funds into the ETF industry. And as Global X, we're very, very excited to be positioned in a very unique way in that ETF industry. And clearly clearly, we're very well known for our thematic suite of ETFs, everything from emerging technologies to changes in consumer behaviors to infrastructure that we were just talking about, but also beyond that, income strategies, commodities, and so many other opportunities. So we're very excited about the future of the ETF industry. We have a very high conviction that Global X is going to play a key role in that industry.
최근 이 미국 시장에서 원래는 없었는데 이렇게 인기가 올라가고 있거나 기존의 전혀 다른 기존과는 전혀 다른 새로운 ETF의 유형이나 섹터 혹은 테마 이런 것들이 어떤 게 있고요. 또 글로벌 X의 ETF 이걸 책임지고 있는 페드로 센터장 입장에서는 한국에 없는 것 중에 야 이런 거 하면은 좋을 것 같다 그런 아이디어가 있으면 좀 같이 우리 구독자 여러분들을 위해서 쉐어해 주면 좋을 것 같습니다.
At Global X, we recently launched less than 6 months ago the Defense Technology ETF. That's one trend or emerging trend that we're seeing being very important for investors. I talked about geopolitical tensions around the world. I talked about how defense spending is reaching trillions of dollars every single year. There's also a very important trend to understand in that countries are not only spending on large defense assets like aircrafts, jets, and all of these large assets that take years to build and billions of dollars of spending to build these large defense assets. And then if there is a conflict, they get eliminated pretty quickly. Governments are shifting from that dynamic, investing in very emerging technologies like drones, like autonomous vehicles, and a lot of these defense measures like cybersecurity as well that really complement that traditional defense industry that we know very well. And that's really one area that excites us about because we're seeing a lot of spending around the world going in that direction. We talked about U.S. infrastructure development, and I think there's nothing like that in the Korean market. I think there's a unique opportunity to invest in infrastructure here in the United States, and that would be something that I believe Korean investors may look at.
글로벌 X의 상품, 그러니까 이 라인업을 보면은 지금 우리가 주로 얘기해왔던 혁신성장 테마형 ETF가 있는가 하면 또 인컴형 상품 중심으로 되어 있는데 사실 이게 조금 성격이 좀 다른 것 같아요. 근데 이 두 가지 상품을 어떻게 우리가 밸런스를 맞춰서 투자를 하면 리스크는 좀 줄이고 리턴은 성과는 좀 올릴 수 있는지 이걸 만드시는 분 얘기를 좀 한번 들어보고 싶습니다.
I think it's important to have a blend of these strategies, but that shouldn't be your overall portfolio. We believe it's really important for investors to consider a diversified exposure, not only from a sector definition or geographic definition, but also from an investment strategy opportunity. So we believe it's important for investors to try to capture broad market indices and also diversify away from equities into fixed income, especially today in a higher yield environment. But these thematic ETFs and income strategies are very, very powerful when it comes to the portfolio benefits. They bring diversification, especially when it comes to thematic ETFs. And when it comes to income ETFs, they bring that monthly stream of income that many investors around the world are looking for. So I think combining these strategies within a very well diversified portfolio can be something very powerful.
Right. 한국 ETF 시장에서는요, 작년부터 월분배 ETF에 대한 인기가 굉장히 뜨거워지고 있고요. 나스닥 100 커버드 콜을 활용한 상품도 국내 투자자들에게 굉장히 인기가 있었습니다. 미국 ETF 시장에서 월 분배 상품의 수요가 실제로 많은지, 그리고 글로벌 X에서는 이런 상품에 대해서 어떤 전략을 갖고 계시는지 궁금합니다.
Absolutely. There is a lot of demand for these income generating strategies, and at Global X we're leaders when it comes to these passive covered call strategies that we're talking about. Global X, one of our largest ETFs is QYLD. That's a NASDAQ 100 covered call strategy that it's aimed to provide that income stream by selling call options. So we're capturing that premium, selling that call option, and delivering that premium to investors. So that's something that it gets very attractive for investors, really trying to generate that yield. In addition to that, we have the same strategy for the Russell 2000, for the S&P 500. So really a robust suite of covered call strategies that give investors access to that equity exposure, but on top of that, generating that premium from the covered call strategy that we're talking about.
뭐 한국 투자자들이 미국에 투자하기 시작한 지가 한국의 개별 투자자들 입장에서 이렇게 길지 않은 역사를 갖고 있습니다만은 점점 더 많은 한국의 개인 투자자들이 미국 시장에 투자하고 있고요. 아마 한국뿐만 아니라 많은 글로벌 투자자들이 미국에 투자하고 있고 미국의 다양한 섹터라든지 투자 테마에 대한 선호도가 굉장히 높아지고 있는데 전체 포트폴리오에서 미국의 비중을 계속 늘려나가는 전략 이거 어떻게 생각하시는지요?
When it comes to the United States, we're seeing the country leading in some technologies, but not all technologies. Some technologies like artificial intelligence, like cybersecurity. We talked about infrastructure earlier today as well. But I think for investors, it's important to get a broader exposure and diversify exposure around the world. Geographic diversification is critical. So, for example, other places like in Asia, we're seeing some of the largest semiconductor companies really benefiting significantly. We're also seeing most of the leading companies around the world in the clean energy supply chain, from electric vehicles to solar to wind, also being dominated in Asia. So for investors, I think it's important to have that diversification around the world. Yes, the United States is leading in some of these emerging technologies, but at the end of the day, the best way to capture long-term opportunities, I think it's really having a geographic agnostic portfolio, investing around the world in the most exciting companies and technologies.
미국 시장 말고 다른 지역에 대한 투자의 우선순위를 혹시 고르신다면 어떤 지역이 투자 유망 지역으로 생각하고 계시는지요?
I think Japan is quite an exciting market, especially when it comes to industrial robotics, for example. Japan accounts for over 50% of the global supply of industrial robotics around the world. So we're looking at companies like Fanuc, Omron, Yaskawa, this group of leading companies that are very, very well positioned when it comes to industrial robotics. Beyond that, Korea, absolutely very, very well positioned, especially when it comes to battery technology. We've seen how leading companies like LG extremely well positioned, partnering with many car companies around the world. It's especially focused with their NMC battery, nickel, cobalt, manganese battery technology that are critical for the adoption of electric vehicles around the world. So those are a few markets that we're still focusing on. And like I said before, when it comes to innovation is not only happening here in the United States, it's happening around the world. So again, it's important for investors to have that global view of innovation.
글로벌 X가 미래에셋 그룹의 일원이 된 지도 꽤 시간이 흐른 것 같습니다. 미래에셋 글로벌 네트워크의 한 회사로서 글로벌 X의 운용 능력이라든지 투자 리서치 능력들이 어떻게 미래에셋 글로벌 네트워크에 반영되고 있는지도 좀 궁금하네요.
We work very, very close with one another. I think we share the values of innovation and something that we've seen Mirae Asset Group really leading around the world with innovation. And we're trying to keep with that legacy that they're bringing here in the United States in the ETF market. Of course, we have other ETF businesses around the world, and we're proud to be part of that ETF business of Mirae Asset, from Tiger ETFs, one of the most fantastic ETF businesses that we have in the Mirae Asset Group, to businesses in Australia, Canada, Latin America, Europe, and of course here in the United States. But of course, we work very closely together.
Right. 2024년이 이제 거의 반 가까이 지났습니다. 사실 2024년 하반기도 미국의 선거도 있고 또 미국의 페드에서 어떤 전략을 쓸는지도 굉장히 궁금하고 여러 가지 변수들이 있는데 우리 투자의 성과를 잘 내기 위해서 열심히 투자하고 있고 또 한편으로 고민하고 있는 한국의 투자자 여러분들을 위해서 페드로 센터장님께서 한 말씀 해주시면 좋을 것 같습니다.
Long-term investments. It's really important to have that long-term horizon when it comes to investments, really identifying those long-term structural trends, trying to think about diversification, and understanding that there's always going to be a lot of noise in the market. The market is going to be volatile. We're going to have a lot of events really happening every single year. So I think it's important for investors to understand that having that long-term time horizon is going to be important for the long-term wealth creation. So if there's one advice that I would have for investors around the world is having that long-term mindset.
아주 심플한 대답을 해주시네요. 롱텀 투자, 그러니까 장기 투자를 해주시면 좋겠다. 한국에 오실 기회가 있으시다면 저희 3프로TV 스튜디오에 오셔서 저와 다른 인터뷰를 통해서 우리 투자자 여러분들 그리고 구독자 여러분들에게 좋은 투자 아이디어를 주셨으면 좋겠습니다. 오늘 이렇게 인터뷰 해주셔서 감사합니다.
I would love to do that. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much
Thank
for
you.
your time.
Thank you
very
so
much.
much. Thank you.